Now, it is possible that you do not receive an email. Now, that is depending on which server you are hosted and how this server is set up for the sending of emails from your web applications. In the case that you will not receive your email, it's very likely because your hosting is whether it is blocking the port for sending email, the SMTP port, which normally is port 25, or either is set for the WP, not WP, but PHP send mail to be blocked as well. So you could not even be able to send application from your WordPress. Now, there is a plugin that exists that can bypass this, and for whatever reason, even if you receive this email, I would strongly suggest that you use the SMTP plugin for WordPress for sending emails, because you will see that you have in this system a powerful system mailing list autoresponder systems which will accept about any SMTP services over there. So you would have a much powerful email station here if you use the SMTP email that I'm going to show you now to set up. So what you're going to do is you have here a plugin which is called WP Mail SMTP. Now I'm going to do this for for now. I'm going to do what I'm going to do is going into plugins. Okay, and I'm gonna add another one. I'm gonna add Post SMTP, and the reason I do that is because Post SMTP has proven to be much easier to use, and probably also it has tool that are gonna show you the log of the sending of emails, so it's much easier to troubleshoot if the emails are going through or not. So this, I'm gonna add this this plugin. Actually, it is actually already installed in the system as far as I can see it, and I'm gonna activate it. Plugin is activated. I'm gonna go into deactivating this one here, WP SMTP. So let's go back to the plugins. So I've just installed Post SMTP, and I'm going to delete, or at least for now, deactivate mail, WP Mail SMTP. Now that also happens, and the reason why I have not made you delete yet WP Mail SMTP is because it's possible that the server you are using is not working well. So one or the other will work, okay? Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, it's gonna work with either one or the other, or just with the which is the PHP mailing right out of the box, okay? So, well, most of the time I've chosen to use Post SMTP, and now this is the package. Now it's because I've used it at the beginning, but since then I've found out that there are other SMTP that are maybe work much better with Post SMTP. So now that we have Post SMTP set, we're going to be using the settings. I'm going into settings, and from there you will see that you can use about any SMTP provider what a strongly, let's start the wizard first and see what this is going to tell us. All right. That's why it's very easy as well, because this one post SMTP setup has a wizard, which makes it more easier to configure. All right. So the sender's detail. All right. So for now, it's webmaster at my address here. Okay. And also for now, the username is user. So you enter here the email address and name you'd like to send mail as. So okay, so I'm going to suggest that you, of course, enter here a name, an email address that you will use, of course, for each user. I mean, for the users of your membership site to recognize you. Okay, in whitelist. Okay, so then you press next. And it's going to ask for the outgoing mail server host name. Okay. Now, for now, this WordPress installation is installed on a server which is on vulture.com, which is a cloud server provider. And you can also use your SMTP from your provider, from a cPanel. You know, you just create a email address with your cPanel, and you pick up the SMTP information, and you put that information right in there. Okay. So let's say I put my services as the main SMTP server. I'm gonna click next. Then it's gonna checking this SMTP server and find out if it's available, if it's a real, if it's a authenticate one, if it's a real one. So that's just now it's checking if it's available for installing in here. Correct. So now it has connected, as you will see, and it's going to tell me which is the best to use in such case, right? Okay, so here actually it's checked that my SMTP socket is fine, and it's on my marketing technology services. It's on port 587. But also would suggest that you can use as you can see here, you can use Mandrill, you can use SandGrid, you can use Mailgun, and you can also use as well. You can use any one of them. Okay, for now I've entered this MX server because this is the one I'm using with that website here. Okay, but if you, for example, if you had used, if you had used Amazon Web Services, SES, I mean send email, simple email sending services, you just put the address in the previous one. You just here put the Amazon SES server address, and then it's gonna check it out. It's gonna suggest the right socket to use, and then you just enter your Amazon Web Services credential to make it work, right? It's gonna ask for the recurring, the password, the username and password. And this is what's gonna ask me. So this is when I'm gonna click on next. It's gonna ask me now for my username and password for the credential for the SMTP of that server I've just entered, which was my marketing technology.services. All right. So you enter here the name, your username and password, which is provided to you by your SMTP provider. In this case, it's my email provider. In your case, it could be your cPanel. Sooner I told you you create an email address, and with an email address from cPanel, you will always get the settings for your EMAP or POP folder, POP service, and also for your SMTP service. So you get from the SMTP service the username and password they will provide you, and then it's going to be able to connect to your server. Okay. So it's just going to take a second here. I'm going to put the real information here that I'm going to use. Right, and then click on next. 6 notification, all right. So select a notify service to notify you when an email is failed to deliver. So if you want to be receive any notification from the system, so whether whether it is by email, pushover, or Slack. All right. So I'm going to leave it to his emails for now, or to push to Chrome extension. You can have an extra notification. You can download a Chrome extension here, so you can be notified from the browser. And of course, you put a user ID with the extension here. So if you don't want to add any notification more than this one here, you just click on next. And now we're finished. Okay, so what we're gonna do is click to see this. What's gonna happen? It's gonna tell us to here to go for the SMTP setup. Okay, so we just click on next, finish, and we're done. All right, so Postman is configured. And what is interesting with Postman is when you send an email, and if let's say it doesn't go through, you can check here with Post SMTP the error log, and from here you will see if a email went through or not. Okay, so it's gonna tell you that post test it's been sent, for example, to this address, or if there is an error that could not open the socket, or such an error, whatever it is, and then you can be able to troubleshoot that. Okay, so for now I'm going to leave it as is, and if you have any questions, okay, to configure your SMTP server, just go to our websuitesupport.com and find out, and post question there. We should be able to help you with your SMTP server. See you on the next video. Thank you.